There's one word every retail worker fears more than any other. It's not refund, it's not manager, it's no. Because saying no in retail feels like lighting a fuse. You can almost hear the countdown starting. But here's the truth. You can say no and still keep the peace. You just have to do it the right way. So retail teaches you early that no equals conflict. You say no and you're suddenly the villain. The customer's angry, the manager's watching, the queue's listening. So you start avoiding it, you bend the rules, you over-apologise. You say, I'll see what I can do, even when you can't. But avoiding no doesn't make things easier, it just takes longer. Learning to say no properly is one of the most powerful skills in retail. Tone is everything. The word no isn't a problem, it's the tone. If you say it sharp, it sounds like rejection. If you say it calm, it just sounds like clarity. So instead of, no, we don't do that, you say, I understand why you'd ask, but that's not something we can offer. Different energy, same message. Tone turns no from confrontation to conversation. The secret to saying no without starting a war is redirection. You don't block the path, you guide it somewhere else, ideally a place you want it to go. For example, I can't refund this without proof of purchase, but I can offer you an exchange or a store credit. You're not saying no, you're saying, here's what I can actually do. That tiny shift keeps the customer's momentum going and stops the explosion. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing. It means acknowledging. When someone's frustrated, you say, I can see this has been really annoying for you. Or, I totally get why you would be disappointed. You're not giving in, you're just giving understanding. And understanding disarms anger faster than any policy that's been written. Try not to over-explain, because retail workers love to explain because they think logic will save us. It won't. The more you explain, the more the customer will argue. So just keep it short, clear and final. I wish I could, but it's against store policy. And then just stop talking. Silence is powerful. It signals confidence, and confidence ends debates. Don't forget to protect your boundaries. Sometimes saying no isn't about policy, it's about self-respect. If someone's being rude, crossing lines, or just demanding too much, you have a right to draw the boundary. You say, I want to help, but I can't continue this conversation while you're speaking to me like that. It's calm, firm, and professional. You're not escalating, you're protecting yourself. And believe it or not, that's allowed. And then there's the manager trap. Every retail worker knows this one. You say no, and the customer says, get me the manager. And you feel like you failed. You haven't. Managers exist basically for escalation, not correction. If you've handled it calmly, clearly and professionally, you've done your side of the job. When your manager steps in, they're not fixing your mistake, they're finishing the process. Try and say no early. The longer you delay the no, the worse it gets. If you know something isn't possible, say it there before the customer invests time and emotion and the queue inevitably gets longer. For example, you could say, I'll check for you, but I don't think we can do that. That one sentence softens the landing because people handle disappointment better when they've seen it coming. And here's the truth. Saying no isn't rude, it's actually responsible. It protects your time, your sanity, and the store. And most customers, once they calm down, they will respect it, because deep down, people don't want fake promises. They want honesty delivered with respect. And that's what no really is. Honesty with boundaries. If you've ever had to say no and felt guilty, remember this. You're not being difficult. You're being professional. Retail isn't about saying yes to everything. It's about knowing when no is the right answer, and saying it with a calm, confidence and clarity. If you can do that without starting a war, you've already mastered one of retail's hardest skills.